Okay. Oh, hello. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Bot Signal. My name is RJ Redden, and entrepreneurs hire me to create engagement experiences because they're shouting into a black hole out there. They're a carbon copy of everybody else, and they can't get traction to save their lives. So I create epic engagement experiences that get people to click the button, connect with you, and convert like crazy. Bottom line, I am on a mission to get 1 million people to change their marketing. Today, we're going to start with you. And if you'd like to know who helped me write that little ditty at the beginning, I have her. I have her in a chair. It's really hard to capture this woman's energy. I have her in a chair. She's going to do an interview with us. Hold on. Let me bring her up. I'm so excited to introduce my coach, my speaking coach, Jade Empowers. Hello.
Hello, darlings. Hello. I did not wear my cape or goggles, but I have one thing to say this morning to kick us off. If you want to fly, ditch everything that weighs you down. Profound, isn't it?
I know. I like it.
Yeah. For a Friday morning, that is the best thing I can bring you. Actually, that is a lie. I have far more about ditching. We're going to ditch what weighs you down, and we're going to talk about ditch your pitch.
Ditching your pitch, baby. Ditch your elevator pitch. So tell us a little bit about, little background info.
Yeah,
got background info from us?
What I love is that we just start talking like the world knows me.
I know.
I started the rumor, though. I did start the rumor that I am a household name, that I am world famous, I am global, international. Now, all those are true. Well, okay, maybe not the first three. But in this household, I am a household name.
That's right.
And this household name is Jane Empowers. I'm Jane Powers. Entrepreneurs, hire me to speak with confidence and sell with authority, because most are boring, confusing, and inconsistent, and they are leaving virtual and live events empty-handed. So I help them connect, capture, and close their ideal audience. Bottom line, every time you open your mouth, you make money. Ta-da, there it is, people. That is me. So truth be told, I have worked with RJ, ideal client for, I don't even know, but when I met RJ, she had no pitch, she had no message, she had great looks, she had great humor, and a gigantic brain, and was wasting her brilliance without putting it into a message that sells. So when I met RJ, and people know this story, I said, come to my event, I'm putting you on stage, I will promptly then put you into a cannon, light it, and shoot you out of it. The rest is history. Because she wore the goggles, the cape, we put her in the cannon, and the rest is history. So I thank you for having me. You know, I always love, we hang out anyhow, but here's my claim to fame. My infomercial, my messaging, and my sales ability. I have been speaking professionally for over 30 years and doing sales at the same time, sales training, corporate gigs. I've created today, to this date, 3 multi-million-dollar businesses. Do I say that to brag? Maybe. Is it to help me feel better? Probably. But what else do I talk about? I haven't done much else. No, I have done a lot. But the reason I say that is because, RJ, you know the way I have built my business, messaging and crafting the right sales delivery, not the pitch. It is a pitch, but the way we deliver it is so vitally important. So please feel free, interview, ask me whatever you want. This is a Ask Dr. Ruth.
Oh, well, that's another show entirely.
That's a whole nother subject.
Oh, how fabulous. Okay, so the Ditch Your Elevator pitch, the challenge starts Monday. By the way, everybody, free challenge. She will teach you, and I'm not kidding, how to write that little intromercial. You call it the intromercial.
Correct.
TM, people, TM, that helps you introduce yourself. Tell me how you came up with that system and how it's affected the way that you do business going forward.
You know, here's what is interesting. I think back and I think, where the heck did I come up with this formula? And I've been doing it for so long. And what I knew was that I would write people's talk, and then now I write an hour-long talk for people. It's an accordion style, so we can make it big or smaller. We can stretch it out. But what people were asking me for were not only TED Talks, but they were asking me for 2 to 5 minute talks.
Mm-hmm.
Most people can't even introduce themselves in 2 to 5 minutes. So I thought, what if I could find a formula that mimics my talk formula, which there's 7 key components in a talk that you must have. 3 are vital. Without them, you are dead. I'm telling you, I like to unleash an unfair sales advantage. And if you don't have the 3 important components, and I'll share those with you, what ends up happening is you're an educator. People love you. People will hug you. But my mortgage company did not take hugs as a payment. Mm-mm. Isn't it weird? I don't know why. But
bastards.
But that's what happened. No, what I ended up realizing was people were asking me for 2-minute talks and they wanted them to sell. Now, there's 3 ways that you assure a sale. 1, don't be boring, confusing, and inconsistent. Number 2, the first thing you must do is position yourself. So position yourself as the expert. In the intromercial, you do that right in the first 7 seconds. And we know people are not listening longer than 7 seconds. So we doll it up. We put in some science in there so they start to listen. So you almost are poking them again. They're like, oh, I'm ready to listen. So position me. Then you must position them. People aren't going to buy until they know they need you. So position me. I'm awesome. Position them. You're screwed. And then you position your call to action. So what ends up happening is you, in your intromercial, first go of it. So, during the ditch your pitch, what's going to end up happening? People are going to have 5 seconds to 45-second intromercial. Now, let's be clear. It's not an infomercial. That means I sit and tell you all about myself and nobody cares. Or you go on, QVC. No offense, but that is what they do. Or what was the one? Jack LaLanne, the juicer. That was a good infomercial.
It was.
Who else did infomercials? Tony Robbins, I think that's how he started. I don't know. We won't talk about that. So here's what intromercial. Introduce yourself, 17.5 seconds. That is our goal. Now, RJ did hers. When you're doing a show, you see, she opens up the show, adds a few more components in there to hook the audience. That could be her 2-minute talk with a call to action. So anyhow, what ended up happening is I thought, okay, how do I break that down? And then it just continued to develop. Oh, look, now I can see comments. Don't you head back to bed?
Well, South Australia. It's like 3 a.m. there or something.
I do not care. We will be on just a few more minutes. You stay up, run around, energy drink. Okay, I'll let her off the hook because she's going to join the challenge. Denise, get working. Thank you. Stop screwing around on these little shows. Okay, so where was I?
You were at a place in the dialogue where, position me, position them.
And then position your offer. Position your offer is basically saying, I'm really great. Come see me. Hop on a call. Do something that will get you to move the needle. So I created that. And quite frankly, it's only 1:40. She's got plenty more time to stay awake. For things like I am tired. I am tired. Yeah, well, I just woke up like an hour and a half ago. Let's talk about tired. So yeah, that is the whole the crux of it is to bring together. Oh, look at, am I delayed? Like, are my lips not matching?
I'm hearing and seeing you just fine. It's no kung fu movie over here.
Oh, dang it. Godzilla. Mine looks like it doesn't match, so I like doing that. All right. So, yes, that's how it came about. And I started to listen to people when I would go to networking, and they'd say, I help. And everybody kept saying that. And I was like, I feel like you might be a volunteer. It didn't have as much power. And that's where I came up with the formula. Entrepreneurs hire me. Corporate executives hire me. Organizations, nonprofits hire me. It says I have a viable business. I don't even care if you've never sold one thing. You have a business and people will hire you. And the elevator pitch is just a thing of the past. Mm-hmm. You need a bold impact statement that says, I'm all that in a bag of chips, and you are not. And that's what we do in the middle section of it. We position them. So during the ditch your pitch, I just cut it out. I cut out elevator pitch because it just is so long.
That's long.
Oh, good. Darn it. That's more fun, Russ, when I have like not matching. So yes, see, Denise wrote her own. I'm getting a little nervous that I'm not necessary in this equation. I know. She might be taking over the world. She's nicer than me. That's very important. Very important. Mm-hmm. So anyhow, that is the infomercial. 17.5 seconds. You get on the challenge. It's fun. We have great activities this time. It doesn't take you long, only like 8 hours a day. Otherwise, nothing much at all. All right, 8 seconds. No, it'll be like 8, literally 5 to 8 minutes. You post on there. We've got prizes. We've got a grand prize, which I don't know. It feels like a very effective grand prize, but people have to be the judge of it. I think we should hold it a secret.
Well, we might have to keep it, just keep it a secret for now. But if you join the challenge, which, I have a little linky poo here. I'm going to throw it in the comments. There we go. And if you hit that, join the challenge with us. I'll be in there. My intramural could always use a little bit of touch up. I always, I use these opportunities because you do these challenges. I mean, this is 3rd or 4th time I think we've done this one. You do this challenge, and it's an opportunity for me to go, okay, is my intramural pointing toward the right audience? Am I saying the right things? Because first impression is everything. Yeah. You don't have a long time to stick people, especially if you're doing some online engagement. You don't have very long at all before they just hip to another tab or switch you off entirely. And so being able to and you call them pattern interrupts with this little with the intramural, being able to create it where people are kind of, it's almost an engagement, a call and response engagement.
Yeah. And what happens, just to speak to that, what happens is you're talking about the attention and the interrupt. People coming to a networking event, and we all must confess, we have all done this, or online. When you go to meet someone, your mind is thinking, are they a good connection? Who else should I connect with? So when you actually connect with someone, you're not always fully present. So this has impact immediately. And then there's trigger words in there that people are like, what? Because they can't help it. Their brain automatically responds to the words that we have put in there that are actually scientifically proven, that they go, hey, knock, knock. What? Like you're listening. So I think there's a predisposition for people that aren't always listening. The other thing, here's what's been with this entire world changing and spinning differently on its axis, I think it actually went the opposite direction, and that's part of our problem. But that's just my theory. And everybody's a little dizzy. What The very first thing, I'm telling you, this is terrible. Well, not terrible. I'm doing it for research. I go on virtual calls and I start taking screenshots of the way people are set up. I start taking screenshots of their background, of what they're wearing, of there's some where they're looking like up at the camera or they're looking way down. So when we're follow up to the infomercial, we'll have some master classes. I'll do some speaker and sales training within those in addition to my Rain Man trick, which is the infomercial. But what I find is that people are, I got to say this word, pivoting.
Pivoting.
It's thank you. I love these notes. They're pivoting. And what I say is don't pivot. Do what you do best, just do it differently. Meaning get more exposure online, get more interactions going. Now we can go worldwide without having to get into an airplane, although I miss that. But what happens, people will judge you in a matter of seconds. People think this is a virtual background, and I love that because you have the best virtual background. A lot of people have the halo around them, and the background doesn't fit. And people are like, oh, I got to get the best this, and I got to get the camera. Oh, I'll put a sheet behind me that's wrinkled. No, like find the best background or find the best virtual background. I'm not a fan of the virtual because my halo shows. And it's my real halo. It just can't be held back. But you know what I'm saying? There's people look at the background, and I have a number of pictures. I'll black out everybody's faces, but it's vital that you have the right background, the right angle. For example, our eyeballs should be the upper third of the screen. Yeah. When you're like this, you're either just a talking head or, you've got to make sure that you're positioned right to have them even allow you to open your mouth.
That's right. That's right. Because people will, it's not as if, okay, so you and I have done a lot of stages. You've done many more than I have. It's harder for people to switch off, to get up and walk out of the room, or, they'll maybe do, phone under the table or something like that. And you don't have their attention anymore. But most of the time people came to that place, they traveled to that place to come and pay attention to something.
Yes. When
people are sitting behind their computer, it's a lot easier for them to turn off. And that's where things like this infomercial come into place, TM, that help people, that really respond to psychological triggers that help people pay attention. And then, of course, you gotta follow it up with quality, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what I just figured out? You kept saying TM, and I'm like, why is it too much? Like, I'm so sorry. It's Friday morning. I have not had my first beverage of the day.
No, you have not.
Maybe I should start drinking. I'm not a drinker, but I might. I kept thinking, you guys, seriously. She's like, TM. And then I thought you were going to throw in I, and I'm like, I don't feel like it's too much, maybe too much infomercial. I don't know. But anyhow, I thought we were going with that other topic that we started with, but I guess we're back to that. But yes, it is so, and here's what I want to speak to. I woke up this morning, I thought, yay, because anytime any of you get to spend time with RJ, it's a yay morning. Like I sprung out of bed like it was Christmas morning, honest to Pete. So I thought, you know what's important to me this morning? Because we know it is all about me, apparently. It is. I want to speak to assisting people, not only get your messaging right, get the lead, like be on the edge of leadership. When you have an infomercial, you do stand out from the crowd. And I can prove this every single time. If you see someone that has worked with me at an event, at anything, online, doing videos, and they start with, I get emails all the time. Hey, just heard a gal speak. I know you did her infomercial. It stands out. It's memorable. It sells. In like I told you, I came up with this. Somebody needed a 2-minute talk. Actually, 2 clients did. So I did infomercial, couple teaching points with a call to action. They literally, one of them, I believe before the event was over, sold about 50,000. That didn't count follow-up. Follow-up, remember, that's the key. The other one did about 60 to 70,000 at the event and then moved it into 6 figures. I did a 5-minute talk, could not sell. This gal was well into over 150,000. That is the power of your message. So here's what I want to say. If you want to have the unfair competitive edge, get your messaging down pat. Then learn how to sell. And no offense to any, like what RJ and I do is exactly the same. Hers is a technology-based relationship builder. Mine is a message-based, a verbal. I guess that's what it would be, right? And so what I find is that the leading edge, we have the messaging and then we know how to sell. Here's what ends up happening, and I'm seeing this more and more. It's always been competitive. Every industry is competitive. But if you are not a competitive person, if you are not one that will annihilate the enemy to get to the top of the mountain, I'm going to tell you, this industry, any industry that involves competition will gobble you up. It will take you out of alignment with who you are, how you do business, and how you live your life, right? We see it every day. We see people crumbling to the ground because they're trying to do what others do. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Do what you do best and make no apologies for it. Stand up, and when you have an infomercial, I'm telling you, people think you're a 7-figure producer.
Yeah.
And it's because you're not fumbling around with helping people.
Yeah.
You have a clear, concise message that says, I know what I'm doing. I've got a business. I know what your pain is. Now hire me. And we see this day in and day out, and it breaks my heart. I'm the most competitive person, and I get running with the rat race, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh crap, I'm a rat again. Don't let yourself get into that, because do what you do best in the way you do it. Nobody can do what you do. But I'll tell you that the quickest way to fail in any industry is being a copycat. Like, become somebody else and do it their way. The best thing you can do is get a unique message that says, I am nobody, I am like no. RJ walks around with her goggles and cape all the time that we are at events. I'm telling you, we will go into fancy restaurants and she flies in.
Yeah.
It is a magnet. Everybody talks to her. Everybody's thinking, what is she going to? What are those Comic-Cons, or what are they called?
Yeah, the comic
or whatever it is. They're all like, oh, are you going to a com? And she's like, no. And people are like, I need you. There's a trail of clients because she has a brand.
Yeah.
It is a brand with a message that screams, I know what I'm doing. You don't. Now come hang out with me.
It does. And when you start with that, I mean, because the entire reason that we're together is that I saw you on someone's live stream. I had a speaking gig that night because I'm always asked to speak, because I got I make funny faces and people like to watch it. I don't know. Anyway, I had a speaking gig that night, and Jane talked about the same thing she talked about here. Yeah, that she was getting paid in hugs, that she was giving people tons of valuable stuff, but being paid with, thank you so much, I'm going to go try that now. Yay! I mean, that's wonderful for you, but I'm here for a reason, kind of. So that really resonated with me. Long story short, I followed her formula for infomercial. I decided I'm going to start with this tonight. And I didn't sell a thing that night because I didn't have an offer. I didn't sell a thing that night because I didn't know to have one. I was such a baby, such a little tiny baby Yoda. That's as innocent as I was. But I started with that infomercial that I had written on the fly. It wasn't even very good. I had them. They were like, whoa, we got to listen to this lady like never before. And it was like, oh, she might know what she's talking about. I need to follow her around on the internet.
Little did you know.
Oh, little did we all know. I remember that first time that I spoke at one of your events. You came up to me and you had your little, the microphone that goes like this. And
because I'm a cool kid. You got to have that microphone, people. If you're doing events or going and speaking at events. By the way, RJ, have you gotten one yet?
No.
Yeah, you need a Madonna mic. People, bring your own and hope they have the right pack. But it's vital when you walk in and you're like, you have that on. People are like, oh.
Maybe I'll just wear it around the house.
Just wear it around the house.
For authority. Maybe the dog will do what I need him to do if I'm wearing it without a mic. Anyway. But I remember you had your little mic and you covered it and you go, are you ready? And I go, is Phoenix ready? And then you laughed at me. And then you went up on stage. I just remember that moment. It was such a beautiful moment.
And they weren't ready. And then no one is quite ready until they experience it. Then, now I thought I have been speaking literally over 30 years. My very first audience, 200 juvenile delinquents, and I was speaking on date rape. It was a very popular topic as well as my popularity grew. And I'm telling you, I was sweating like a mother. I was so nervous. I had no wow factor. I had no position me, position them. All I had was an audience, and that was my job. So I figured it out quickly. Nobody was listening. I didn't even have a mic. Maybe if I had my Madonna mic, they would have listened. Nobody cared. So I came up with an idea because I'm literally standing there. They're all screwing around. So I decided I got to capture them. And I'm telling you, this is 30 some years ago. And I put my fist, it was called our safety yell that I used to teach kids when I did sexual abuse prevention work. And I did this, I started this big yell. The entire audience stopped. And I thought, I got him. And then I went into my talk. That has been with me forever. Every talk I deliver, I have a wow factor. People, you have to do that. You saw my first one. If you want to fly, ditch everything that's weighing you down. Like, that's an attention getter. When you're doing virtual, just make it a mild one. But see, what people miss, RJ, is when all of a sudden they go online, they're like, a few things happen.
Yeah.
Virtual presentations. I don't care if you're great on stage. That does not make you great virtually. You know what's interesting? I'm going to tell you. Denise. Many of you know Denise. Denise has been with me for 4 years. She's the CEO. She's actually the brains and the beauty, which leaves me really nothing. I don't know my role, but I have to do these because RJ, I think, feels sorry for me. Yes. So Denise, I ask her all the time to get on stage, and she hates it. Then she gets on. She does well. But I asked her yesterday, can you just do a Facebook Live? People love to see what's happening, and they love to hear you. Do you know, now I do analysis. People will send me videos. They'll send me live or virtual talks, and I'll do an analysis. I watched hers, and I had pen in hand, people. I was ready to rip her apart. And all I wrote was, damn, good job. Great job. And she goes, did I say too much? If you're in Toastmasters is not a good thing. because they'll scold you. Any other time when Denise does an you wait, brilliance. Other people go, not brilliance. If you follow an hello, if you follow an with brilliance, say them all day long. Did I ever tell you about my Toastmasters talk?
I don't think so.
I was invited to a Toastmasters conference to speak. I've never been, and I love Toastmasters, but if you're working with me, I make sure people never say I have been to Toastmasters. That screams, I'm afraid to speak. Never say it out loud. If you're afraid to speak, who cares? Go to Toastmasters. If you are from stage, do not say, oh, unless you're an award-winning speaker. Patricia Fripp and a few of the fellas were award-winning Toastmasters. Unless you're winning some big fat award and you're running that, don't say it. But nonetheless, I go to Toastmasters. You know I have a wow factor every time. I hit the platform. I hit that stage and I said, I went on and they're just like mortified. And my transition was, today you are going to learn how to break every rule in speaking and make 6 and 7 figures from stage. And they were nuts about it. And I thought, you may kick me out right now because I break all the rules for speaking. I was at National Speakers Association one time. I can't remember the speaker. He's hilarious. He's a comedic speaker. And the woman before talked about body language. Don't raise your arms beyond the sphere of here. Don't have them below your waist. She's giving this whole like body language thing. He came out, I swear, he was like one of those blow up things at a car dealership. He was like, whoa, arms were everywhere. Exactly. And he's like, I break all the body language rules. Break the rules, but make it your rules that you're breaking. That's how you stay on the cutting edge of your best. If you are not a crazy blow up speaker, you have to be very careful not to be boring. That's very important. Yeah. Or being a teacher. So was there a question? I got off on a tangent. That's weird.
Was there a question? Well, you were talking about post-COVID world. While you're doing that, I just want to flash something up. Let's have you think a second. And while you do that, I'm just going to put up this ditch your elevator pitch. This bad boy starts Monday. And it is a 5-day challenge. It's free, obviously. And it is all about getting a way to introduce yourself to people that makes people stand up and listen, whether you're online, whether you're on stage, whether you're shaking a hand at a party, wearing a mask, hopefully. This intromercial will get you attention. I use it every single day. This is worth your time. And I want to call attention to it. I also want to throw it in the comments again. If there's a link for you. And all right, now back to you.
Back to our tangent. Here's what's important. The intromercial is, yes, it is your introduction. But what we do also is during the training, after we create your intromercial, and I believe we have had up to almost 1,000 people. We might be shy of that. I think, no, we had over 1,000 people on that one. And every person that stayed involved walked away with a well-crafted intromercial.
That's right.
The people that fell away, obviously, I can't work with them personally, but I think one of our calls, we do a 90-minute call. One of our calls ended up being 4 hours.
Yeah, 90 minutes. Come on.
I say ish. Because you know why? Here's the most frustrating thing to me. When people work so hard at their business and they're like, oh, I'm going to build a funnel and then I'm going to I've got 82 online programs and I've got every widget out there. And I'm like, really, how you doing on, conversions? And they're like, well, I haven't gotten any clients yet because I don't know who I'm working with and they don't know what I do. But oh boy, you got the best, you got the best yard sale going. You got a bunch of crap everywhere. Now we bring it together, put it in with your messaging, and understand how to sell it. Buying 40 million things out there is not going to get you the success you need. And what happens with the infomercial? Number one, you come in, we get rid of your elevator pitch because that is such a thing of the past. It's so terrible. I see people sending out mailings like about their intro, their elevator pitch. And I'm like, what are you, my father? Like, honestly, no, I'm sorry. And people don't hate me. Don't hate me because I say that. But truth be told, the elevator pitch dates your level of excellence. I just have to say that. Like so the infomercial, you hang out, ditch your pitch. Every day I break down this formula so I make it so simple and so clear that all you have to do is plug in a word or two. Some of those words will be hard. I'll help you find those. Then you show up to the masterclass. I will, it's live. It is, you say, Jane, how about me? Jane. And we are working together. And then I will teach you how to use the infomercial. I will teach you how to turn it into a 15 to 20 minute talk. I will teach you how to make that bad boy sell the second you deliver it. So there's more than just, oh, hey, I'm going to get a new elevator pitch. You are not going to get that. You're going to get an entire formula to speak and sell, because you can't be RJ without an offer. Not yet. Like, we have to swing for the fences. I don't care how long you get. We have all these online networking right now. I'm telling you, okay, this was so fun. I was on a panel. There were 4 speakers. It was virtual. Ton of people on. You got, I think it was 20 minutes to speak. And I did wow factor, infomercial, and going on. Then I just did boom, boom, boom with my offer. The other speakers were telling their story. They all told their story.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about your story. Nobody cares about your case studies. I hate to say that. People care about you, but they care more about themselves. So if I sat here and said, oh, I'm so wonderful and life is wonderful and this is why I'm great, and boy, it started when I was 3, and at the end, nobody cares. Nobody cares why I do what I do. Some do, and sometimes it's a great topic. But when you have a matter of 20 minutes, hit them with your best stuff and hit them with a call to action. And once you do that, now you are a force. And these other people started, and they opened it up for Q&A. And I am not lying. And I'm not saying it's because of me. It's because of the formula I deliver. I had, the host was like, next, like, this question's for Jane. This question is for Jane. And then this question is for Jane. And I have another. It was every question. And then finally the host goes, oh, hey, Judy, tell us about this. Like, she had to divert. And these people had valuable content, I'm sure, but no one grasped it. Three out of the 4 of us, they told their story, and nobody cared. Nobody cared. What they cared about was, here's what you got to do. You have to do this, and I gave them the position me, position them, position your offer. People can hear that 5,000 times. They don't always understand it. And I missed what that last comment was. Was it sort of a question or a comment?
Oh, comment. I have offers. I just need to move them. Yes. And then we have one more. Can't stand case studies, but a little backstory helps create connection.
Absolutely. That is, and here's how you, and we know this about me. I hate going, oh, and today I'm going to have this offer for you. Here's Judy. Judy did this. Judy sold that. We don't care about Judy's stats. We care about Judy's experience. So here's a tip, couple of different tips. One, when you are giving a case study, AKA testimonial. So let's pretend, RJ, I'm delivering this presentation and I talk about position me, position them, position your offer. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to demonstrate how to position the offer. Okay, it reminds me of this. So Heidi Mount, I met Heidi. Oh my God, it was such an amazing experience. I was speaking at. That's my testimonial. Then I tell how Heidi, after one meeting with me, read her entire talk on a webinar and closed a $17,000 contract. That is an exciting story. Everybody knows about Heidi. Everybody loves Heidi. Heidi is a true, real person. She's actually going to be in the challenge. But what happens when we're giving case studies, we've got to edify ourselves. You must. Oh my God, I used to hate that. People are like, well, why don't you tell people what you make? I'm like, well, in corporate America, that was grounds for termination. Mm. You didn't run around going, hey, at the water cooler. Do they have those anymore? At the water cooler, you're like, oh, hey, I make $107,000. How about you, loser? No, we don't do that. But this industry, my industry does. So I had to start sharing because I got scolded because people said, you're the only woman on that stage and you're the only one not sharing your numbers. So I started sharing my numbers and people went, I want to grow up to be just like you. Yeah. And then to which I would say, please set your bar higher. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about, because it's so important, you have the offer, or well, you didn't have an offer. Now you do. But a lot of people have that same pain. They say, I have my offer, but I need to get them to move. Write this down. Poke the bruise. Do not put salt on the wound, but poke the bruise. RJ has been working with me for years. Do you know she always writes down whatever I tell her to write down? She's like, oh, please, I have to get a bed. She's heard it 100 times. Poke the bruise. Not enough people poke the bruise. And what that means is, if you are not a bruise poker, RJ is not. She is not. She's a very nice person. No. Here's how you do it. You apologize. You say, I just have to apologize right off the bat. But the majority of you are screwed if you do not. And then you go into what is it that they need. If your butt is not going numb in this chair, you're not going to move. Like, you have to be uncomfortable. You don't want to oh my God, I've been to events where I'm like, you're literally getting people to bleed. Then you're putting salt on the wound, and then you're asking for a credit card. That's creepy. That's just not right. So you help them understand you're the hero. They've got some pain. Do you want to be assisted in that pain? That's it. How do we get you out of that? And it's throughout your entire presentation, you are poking the bruise. Now, do you always have to poke the bruise? No. Well, yes, you do. I shouldn't say that. But like during this time that we've had, I'm not really poking the bruise, but I'm demonstrating what I have. Most people don't have it. That is a subliminal poking of the bruise. Be genius, and people are going, I need that. Why would you do that? I work with partners, caregivers.
The putting salt in the wound thing that you were talking about, I believe she was that.
It's terrible. And do you want to know what's terrible? I won't name names, but I was a spiritual life coach certified by a very spiritual and that was the training. I called it the 7-step perpetrator system. And people, I did sexual abuse prevention. I know what it looks like. And when I said, I'm not lying to you, I read that and I'm like, why would we allow people to become so vulnerable and ask the right questions, to get them to trust? And then when they trust you, you go, here comes the salt. It was the worst. And I am one that puts on a fair badge, and I got angry and I thought, you know what? I'm going to change the world of sales. That's why we came up with, oh my God, what a great segue. Thank you for saying that, making that comment, Teresa. That's why I created my core communication, core sales, because it is a gentle easy system of knowing who you're speaking to, what do they value, what are their moral code, what is their moral code, and how do you give them exactly what they desire without making them a buyer. Very important. All this you're going to learn during the pitch, ditch your elevator pitch, and during the masterclass calls, because when it comes to sales, I can't help myself. I have to talk about it.
Let me vouch. Yep, she can't help it. Which I am very grateful for, actually being on the receiving end of these pearls of wisdom. So yeah, that's really an interesting aspect of it. A lot of people like to, I mean, a lot of sales can be so manipulative, and a lot of people, especially if they have a short time from stage, the shorter time they have, the more I notice that they go right for the pain, and it feels icky. And so learning how to instead poke the bruise, which is gentler, and I mean it's there, but it's gentler. Learning how to do that in a non-manipulative way reminds people, hey, this is what you're going through. If these are the problems typically that I solve. It makes me feel better as a human selling. And here's the thing. When I really believe in my product, when I really believe in my power to be able to create something in someone's life, I can sell like hotcakes.
Yeah,
I can. Because you've taught me how to have that confidence and how to, stand in my space and not worry about, I mean, okay, my journey with you is long, and we probably shouldn't go over all of it here, but yeah, just wanted to say, I mean, it's really a thing when you start to learn how to do sales in a non-manipulative way. Because I kind of thought that was how everybody did it all the time, and I thought that's how I had to do it too, and that's why my sales sucked for the first 4 businesses I had.
And I'm telling you, it's because you are not manipulative. You are like, and this is the beauty of sales. Sales is a conversation that ends up with one person handing you a credit card.
Yeah.
And it makes it's very different to, and I love Teresa's comments. It is, we've got to gain the attention. We've got to be able to connect immediately with individuals. And for heaven's sakes, they've got to be able to say, I need what you have. And if you're going on, and this has happened a million times. I'm sure everybody has experienced this. You go or you talk to somebody and you're thinking, I swear last week or last month at this meeting, they were a publisher. Now they're a corporate leader. And then the next month you're like, now I don't even know what, because they're inconsistent in their messaging. I say, and RJ does, and all of my clients and anyone who's been through the ditch your pitch I say it every single time. I get to the point where I'll be at an event and people will recite my infomercial. They've heard it so many times. That's called branding. That's called branding all day long, where people go, oh, hey, you're the Speak with Confidence, Sell with Authority person, which happens to be my book, Seed. So anyhow, but that is key, is say it every time, everywhere. I will be at a party and people go, oh, what do you do for a living? I go, oh, I'm really glad you asked. Entrepreneurs or individuals actually like you actually hire me to speak with confidence and sell with authority. And I say it more in a conversational way, but people are like, wow, you must be really good at what you do, because I'm concise, I'm consistent, and I am to the point. And people go, yep, got it. And that's what we have to do. Be real, be you, don't be anybody else. Don't try to figure out. Now, when you're going through the challenge, you can steal other people's words because they're in the dictionary or the thesaurus. You can take them. Nobody has invented the words, but you don't want to do somebody's exact infomercial.
Yeah.
And I write infomercials for all of my clients and anyone that I work with. And it's funny because So far, I have not duplicated one. It would be so easy to go, oh, okay, I can do those components of somebody else's. The reason that is because when I'm working with someone, I see their uniqueness, I see their value, I see how they stand out, and they are like no other. So you don't, even if it's the easiest route, don't take their stuff. Like don't go, oh, I'm going to use theirs, because it's theirs. It's not who you are. We'll find who you are. So the greatest downfall for so many in any industry is being a copycat. And not so much, oh, you won't be successful or somebody will call you a hack. Well, they will that too. But the important piece is you step out of alignment with your natural way of doing business.
It's the truth. And I mean, you can steal someone else's words, but what you'll end up doing is delivering it a lot less confidently because it's someone else's words and you know it, even if they don't. And that you fall out. Yeah, it's exactly that. You fall out of alignment with what I'm up there to promote me. Now, not always great at tooting my own horn. Never have been. I've been sort of the quiet one in the background in corporate land. This was before the Cape, obviously. But yeah, I mean, and so stepping out of that, stepping into my own personality and saying, this is what we got. You can like this or you can be repelled by this and think I'm gimmicky and walk away. I'm cool with either once you get to that headspace. But it's hard because we're taught as marketers, as entrepreneurs, we're taught how to, hey, this is what worked for me. Go ahead and copy this and put that on your own about page and change a few details. You'll be fine. That's exactly what people are taught to do, is be carbon copies of everybody else. But it sucks so bad for you. It just does.
Yeah, because truth be told, they copied it from someone else who copied it from someone else who, I always like to hotwire it back and go, oh my God, that was this person taught. And I mean, I've paid a number of coaches go into their program and they hand you literally, here is your template, and you become one of the sheep, and everybody, you're like, oh my God, like if the whole herd is going left, I go right.
Yeah.
If people are like saying, oh, go up, I'm like, nope, I'm going down. Like I refuse, because I have allowed myself to be hijacked far too many times. And I learned this when I was gainfully employed in corporate America. I was very successful in corporate America. I did very well, but I hated authority figures. They wanted to hijack my mode of operating all the time. And I don't know, I've only been fired maybe 5 times. I know. And trust me, if you do the math on this, I have been an entrepreneur 23 years. You can do the math and go, holy crap, she's fired like every other day. But what was my point? I had a very important point. Never tell a story without a point. Never tell a point without a story. But that story does have a point. What that point is, don't let anyone hijack who you are, because you will hate yourself for it. You will absolutely hate no, Teresa, you're preaching to the choir. I'm going to tell you what I've done. I have many lawyer letters going out because when I wasn't big on trademarking, but man, that infomercial, because I thought, well, there's no original idea. Somebody else probably had. Nobody has an infomercial. And I found somebody using it. And I was excited because I'm like, I'm going to send out this attorney's letter. And I'm going to tell you something. When I hit the above 7-figure mark, it was like I was standing in a pool of piranhas. I started getting like just ripped to shreds by others in the 7-figure level in my industry. It was insane. My stuff was getting ripped off. My brand was being used. I have people that like, let's see, mine is Let's Talk Impact, Let's Talk. I'm like, come on. Like, I mean, So bad. And then I had one client, I'm sorry, I'm on a rant. Thanks a lot, Teresa. I had one client had a VIP day. And boy, I want to mention names, but I'm not going to because I am a professional. Literally said, I am going to take your formula and I am going to use it and sell it, but I'll use my own words. And I said, you cannot do that. Now, that formula was not trademarked. And she did it. Still to this day is still out there doing it. She tries. And then you have to say, well, can somebody do what I do? Denise is getting close, but Denise has been with me 24/7 for the last 4 years. She can write an infomercial. You know who else can? Susan Atwell is damn good. That woman, I think she's hacked into the software of my mind. And I think that's it, because she knows how to help people like me. Like I tell her, she'll be on giving feedback on I'm like, she's hacked. I think there's going to be like a thumb drive insertion in the back of my head. She hacked me, but she's good. But not a lot of people can do it. So I think, you want to rip it off, do your best. And because then I think after a year, I think this woman became a, I don't know, like a visionary something. And I thought, you can't rip people off and make it work. So Teresa, don't worry about those hacks. Do what you do best. Do it even better than what you do. And people, they'll crumble. Because once you start stealing somebody else's stuff, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It doesn't ever work long term.
No.
It can be so hurtful, and it doesn't ever work long term because you cannot be copied.
No. And then you're excited when you see them fail. That's so wrong. But I do. I'm like, karma, told you. Don't hack.
All right. Now, we are running out of time. I know you blinked and it was an hour later. Same thing happened to me. Same thing that always happens when we got Jane on the show. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to invite you to spend more time with this fiery redhead right here. And here's how we're going to do it. Get into the Ditch Your Elevator Pitch Challenge. This bad boy starts on Monday. Yes, you can get in right now and see what this thing is about. She will teach you how to do that 17.5 second infomercial, TM, which means trademark, TM. And she'll teach you how to have something that sells, how to have something that gets people to sit up and pay attention, whether you're offline, online, on stage, doesn't matter. Everywhere you go, you can use this thing and it's amazing. She's offering it for free. Get in there, do this thing. I will throw the little key in here. Miss Jane, do you have any comments?
I want to say one last thing. It's never one last thing, people. It'll be one last thing bundled up in 5. But here's the truth. And I may sound jaded from the industry because I am. I know. I have been to, come join us for free. And then they are hammering you every day to buy their stuff. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I am going to hammer you every day to do the activities, to create an infomercial so that you then walk out in the world and you are successful. Will I hammer you to buy? Not until you are on a call. I promise you. And I'm going to hammer you to buy. I'm going to say, here's a great opportunity. Take it or leave it, because selling is not me hammering you into saying yes. It's honoring your yes or, very important, your no. So please understand, I do things very differently in the world. I'm going to give you as much value. And here's why. And you know this as well as I do, RJ. People can't do it alone. They just can't. A year and a half ago, I wrote a check for $100,000 because I knew I couldn't do it alone. I've hired my coach to help me to understand different aspects of my business. And I'm going to tell you, when you hire a bigger brain than you, that is the value of investing in your business. A lot of people don't want to invest in their business. I'll tell you why. And this is a conversation you can have if you are selling to business owners. My sister owns 3 Dairy Queens. Dairy Queen didn't say, oh gosh, Mary, You have a dream, you love ice cream, you love Dairy Queen. Why don't you just come in and we'll give you this Dairy Queen and then you make a ton of money from it. We love that you love our vision and we love your vision. No, Dairy Queen said, give me $350,000, go rent your building, buy the equipment, remodel the store, throw in some tables, now put some posters. Oh, you need a new sign. And my sister writes checks all the time to corporate Dairy Queen. You must write checks to invest in your business, to get the machine, to get the peanut butter parfait, and to get that new sign. You have got to invest in the right things at the right time. And if anyone is thinking of investing, call me. I will tell you what to invest in, what not to, when you are in certain phases of your business, because I've invested at the wrong times, the wrong amount of money with the wrong results. I promise you, I have wasted more money on crappy coaches and crappy products when I wasn't ready. So I will give you that free advice. You just have to reach out to me. Better yet, get into the challenge, figure out who I am, see if this is of value, because in absence of having a voice, in absence of articulating your message so clearly, in absence of that, you'll do fine. You won't do great. Let's help you do great.
Excellent.
That's my final one thought.
Let's help you do great. We're making that we're stitching that into a Hallmark and sticking it on the wall.
There it is. And people, invite your friends, because aren't you tired of being bored by them? I am. Like, save me from having to listen to other people's elevator pitch.
That's so beautiful.
All right, that Sarah McLachlan song that they play for the dogs. It's the worst commercial. And she plays that song, In the Arms of an Angel. And they've all, that'll be me. I'm going to play that background music. Don't let me listen to another elevator pitch. And then Sarah McLachlan's going to come on. That's what we're doing. Because it is mortifying.
Mortifying. I cannot watch that. I have to. No, I cannot. We all know why. Anyway, so kids, that's about our time for today. You know where to go. You know what to do. If you have trouble when you are on stage or online and you hear a whole lot of that, you need to get rid of it. You need to make that go away. You need to get into this challenge. I will be there having fun working on my intromercial. Don't let me be alone. You come on too. And with that, my darlings, I'm going to put you down, Jane, into the little thing here. And then I'm going to say bye. I love you. I'll see you. 10 o'clock a.m. like every weekday. And until then, my friends, I'll see you in a bot.